Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get rock and rolling. Does anyone want to start with a summary?
Yes, I will be more than happy to.
Okay, thank you.
So yesterday we arrived on our island, or the land mass, and I say arrived, but really we haphazardly almost lost everything and drowned when we dived off of the boat. We then shrunk it, and everybody else fell off. We ended up on shore somehow. Some of us were a little intoxicated, which was okay. We then set up camp, a crude camp. We're in this marshy area on the kind of in from the beach a little bit, but it's still very marshy. We cleared out a little circle, about a 15-foot little area in this marsh in like the reeds, not reeds, like the tall grass things. From there, I think it was Finn rolled a 20 on perception and saw a sandbank move or a sandbar, which revealed to be an underwater inverted tower. In there lived a prince who is the brother of the Queen of Onair, and he lives in this magical enchanted underwater inverted guard tower with his dragon, collecting magical objects for the dragon's hoard. And he just seems like a really kindly person. And he, after sharing with us some magical artifacts that he had found, he asked us to do him a favor and deliver a message to his grandmother, I think, gnome grandmother. And we said, heck yes. And so he gave us 4 magical items for doing this, and he will give us more after we deliver the message and then return to him. He gave us there's a portal way to like.
So Kimitul memorized his teleportation circle.
Yes.
It's essentially like memorizing someone's address, but magically. So he can zip back.
Yep.
Like their area code.
Which is great.
Yeah, spot on.
Sick.
And then only after you left did you question, wait, why is that Triton's grandmother a gnome? Which will have to be an adventure for another time. Okay. So you make it back to shore. Still fairly early in the day. You weren't in Malkos's tower for too long. Probably 11-ish a.m. What do you do?
Are we walking?
I can't exactly ride Patch, so
I'm going to cast Find Steed and get a horse that looks vaguely similar to Patch.
Are you actually doing that?
Tempting, but...
I want to describe it. If
should I?
You'd have a dope
I
horse.
can't have multiple Find... Is Find Steed a concentration?
Don't know, because Find Familiar isn't. This was one of the ones, because this is a Paladin exclusive one, so I was reading it.
The question is truly, do you want to put up with my pitching for the next hour? That is really the question.
Don't we already do that?
But I do, yeah, you can only cast one at a time, though, so you can't have more than one steed.
I kind of want to use it.
You doing it?
What now?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, let us walk.
Do we have any means to travel at faster than normal speed?
I do.
Yes, you can be a horse.
I could.
Someone could ride you.
I could probably be a
Yeah, you
horse.
could be a horse.
Yes, war horses are CR 1/2.
Or a riding
Or maybe
horse.
even less.
I could use my owl.
You could also be an owl.
Totem,
Fly.
yeah.
I think they only have a fly speed of 40 feet.
It's faster than his walk speed.
True.
By 10 feet.
And it's flying, which means you don't have to spend time with obstacles.
As the crow flies.
Or as the owl flies.
Yeah.
Well, I think regardless, we better start. We haven't the time to dally.
I agree. Let's go.
Okay. So you start heading off due east, or are you picking a direction, or?
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
Before we go off, can
Okay.
I look for some local wildlife that I could speak with?
Sure. Make a perception check.
Sick. I rolled a 10. Plus 5 plus 2 is, or plus 3 is 18.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of birds of most types, like your kind of land seabirds, so gulls and terns and things like that. You don't see much in the way of mammals, being that it's a kind of wetlands area. There's not much in the way like rodents, but birds aplenty. A handful of small water snakes, although most of them are pretty docile when this kind of cold weather. Things of that ilk.
Okay. Can I talk to one of the birds?
Sure.
I'm gonna cast speak with animals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Not just like talk to them because
Yep.
that won't do anything. But yeah. So do you need me to tell you what it actually does?
No, I know what Speak with Animals does.
Okay. I guess I just want to get some sort of idea of like what's the best way to continue if we want to reach the other side of the peninsula.
Is that what
And I
you're
figure
asking the bird?
Yeah, I mean, what's the lay of the land, so to speak? And I figure they'd have some semblance of an idea because they fly all over the place.
So you're asking me. This is my bird voice. So you're asking me to tell you how to get to the other side of this peninsula.
Yeah.
He's holding a cigarette as well.
Channeling your Danny DeVito's
Yeah,
interpretation of the penguin,
of course. I don't really get over that way very much. I can tell you all sorts of shit wandering around in these parts. They only pass through the mountains. I can't fly over those mountains. They're way too big. They only pass through the mountains. It's down by the dwarf place.
The dwarf place. I'm familiar. I think. I forget what it's called though.
Rockrest.
Rockrest.
Major dwarven city, yeah.
How major could it be if I just forgot it though?
Honestly.
That's all I know about that.
You never traveled to the north of the mountains.
I've been up north a couple times. It's real cold up there, and there's some angry people.
I've heard of these people. Barbarians, would you say? Would you even know what a barbarian is?
What's the intelligence level of, like, a sparrow? Probably not.
Probably.
All I know is they wanted to eat me and my friends.
That's I figure, yeah. Very well. I guess that's it then. I mean, I don't know.
All right. You have a good one, buddy. Flies off.
Okay.
And you're left with a very weird impression of what seabirds are like.
It didn't really help. You didn't really know much.
The spell specifically says they're limited by their intelligence, so your average bird is
Yeah,
not
but
gonna
at a minimum, they can give you information about nearby locations and
Well, you
monsters.
didn't ask about nearby locations and monsters.
Yeah, I did. I said, how do we get to the other side of the
Yeah,
place?
you said how did we get there? You didn't ask about nearby locations or monsters. The other side of the Long Reach is not a nearby location. That's like asking about Ohio.
Fine. I need to go get food anyway.
Not my fault. You guys gotta know your shit. So, with that, you start setting off in a generally eastward direction. You've noticed before the mountains are they're very tall series of mountains, comparable to the Rockies, but probably even more impressive. And they're a ways away. You can kind of just see the fog and the snowbanks covering the top of them, but it's not like they're barely even on the horizon so much as you can just kind of see the way the horizon is changing. You're making your way across. This is a wide expanse of grassy wetlands. It's not quite so much as like a swamp, but it would be a marsh, if that makes sense. There's not a ton of trees or other kind of greenery, but it's a wet and kind of grassy area. It's also very cold. A lot of it is frozen over either partially or completely. You can see the further inland you get, especially, it gets colder as the moderating influence from the sea goes away, and the ice on the wetlands becomes a bit thicker, which on one hand makes it easier to walk, but on the other hand makes it harder to walk because it's ice, and you have to kind of be careful with each step you take. As you're walking, Veritas, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Very well. There's a 16 plus
So plus 8, I think, for you. Yeah.
24.
24. As you're walking, you start hearing more as the further you get away from the coast. More animal sounds, more beast sounds. The wind's picking up a bit. You also hear in the very kind of tip of your earshot what sounds like a voice or a series of voices.
Spooky.
And those would be...
Can I discern what they're saying or not?
At this
Can
range,
I
no.
discern
I mean, you can tell that it's voices. They sound...
Can't tell if it's male or female or anything like that.
They're
or what
fairly
language.
gruff sounding, is probably about as good as you can get. Which...
Okay.
Dwarves?
Hi-ho. I guess I'll mention that. Hey, I hear voices, and not like the normal ones. These ones are different.
What do they sound like?
I'd say pretty gruff. I can't quite make them out. Do I know what language they're in?
From this distance, no.
Okay. I can't really understand any of it, to be quite honest. I don't know what to do with this information, but I figured it would be prudent for the party to know. I suppose. I'm sure that won't come up later.
Never seems to.
Yeah. Fucker.
It seems like they are, from what you heard, they are about southeast of you, and if you're moving due east, so you're not moving towards them, but you're moving sort of parallel to the point where they are.
What do we want to
Wait,
stop
were you
and
able to
reaction?
recognize the language?
He couldn't, not from... It's too far out. If you got closer, you probably could. Or at least attempt to identify it. But.
So where do we want to ask them for help or directions? Or are we moving past them?
I could maybe get a closer look in a less conspicuous form.
Free owl.
Owls have pretty good hearing, right?
I believe they have advantage on perception. So yes.
That's pretty sick.
I believe. They have something. They either have a perception bonus or... check that. Yep. Advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Makes
So
sense.
basically all of them.
Yeah. Pretty much unless they're smell or touch perception, which I don't think is really a thing, but...
Oh, they got that solid 3 strength.
a
Yikes.
solid 1 hit points.
Oh, yeah.
1d4 minus 1. Alright, what are you doing?
Does anybody wish me to investigate these voices further? Oh,
Of course.
of course. Well,
Of course.
you seem quite eager for me to embark on this potentially dangerous task.
I miss the company of new people.
I think it would be wise to investigate.
It could be dangerous if we leave them.
Just give a
think
shout
these
if
are
we
all-
need it.
Yeah, we're not.
Perhaps
far.
an owl screech will have to suffice.
Can you give us an example of what it's going to sound like? Okay.
So what is I need to read my totem just to make sure I understand what it does.
So it is essentially, as long as you are wild shaping into an owl,
It
you
doesn't
can.
count as a use.
It doesn't count as a use, exactly. So you can essentially turn into an owl as much as you want, as long as you don't.
Unless I die.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll do that then.
Okay.
I guess we're like stopped for now, right? Like
Or
we're
you're
just chilling.
slowing down at the very least. So
Yeah.
you see Veritas take on the form of a brown kind of barn owl. Fairly small owl, but pivots his head around a little bit. Yeah.
Do I just turn my neck all the way
Yeah,
around?
exactly.
Just getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do like a little fly around.
Okay. Take off. And you're going to investigate the.
I'll head in the direction that I believe the voices to be coming from.
Okay.
Which I think we said was southeast, right?
Yep. So you go a little bit closer, and I mean you heard them, so they were a couple hundred feet out, but they weren't miles away. And as you get closer, you see what appears to be 12 to 15 individuals. None of them are heavily laden or anything, so if they're nomads, they're probably just out hunting, and they're not wherever their base of operations is. Carrying rough weapons, and some of them have bows, some of them have staves and kind of simple blades. Gray skin, very tall. A lot of them have big tattoos, kind of reminiscent in the real world of like Maori or Polynesian tattoos. These are, you're immediately familiar with them, are Goliaths. And as you get closer, you do recognize the language they're speaking, and they're speaking in Giant.
Uh-oh.
I know that.
Yeah, for both speak Giant.
I didn't know that.
It's like your ancestral language, my
That's
dear.
my character sheet.
Should be.
Oh yeah, look at that. I guess Furbolgs don't speak Furbolg.
Yeah, well, they're technically all Giant kin, so it's whatever.
Makes sense.
For Bulbian.
Yeah, so these Goliaths they're big, but they're not giants. They're often considered half giants.
Compared to me, then, how big are they?
Most of them are not taller than you.
Okay.
There might be a rare Goliath that's taller than you, but Furbolgs tend to be a little bit more kind of lively and essentially like the Goliaths are the dwarf of giants, and Furbolgs are the elves of giants. So Furbolgs tend to be a little bit more like slender and kind of gracefully built, whereas Goliaths are a bit more powerfully built, but they're not as tall and thin.
Who are the humans of giants?
Humans.
Okay.
Or I guess if, in this analogy, the giants would be the humans. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess the actual giant.
Yeah.
So what are they saying?
You get bits and pieces. Essentially, they're talking about how today's hunt was good. You see a couple of them carrying what appear to be deer or similar kind of four-legged animals. Talking about going back home and having a feast. That kind of general banter. You hear a lot of them kind of joking around.
Are they all male?
No, about 50-50, male and female.
I don't know much about giant. Well, what Goliaths?
Goliaths you'd be pretty familiar with. Your herd, the Ceros don't have any Goliaths in them, but various other tribes of the Herd of Clouds do contain Goliaths.
Okay.
So you'd have some familiarity with them.
Okay. I was more like me, the person,
Sure.
not me,
Sure.
Vertitas. But if I were to like analyze what they're saying based on what you told me,
Mhm.
I wouldn't expect anything really sinister.
Not that you're
Probably.
getting. I mean, they're very rough, but they're obviously they live out in the wild and
Right.
but they're
I don't recognize any of them either. I guess we're on the other side of the mountain, so I probably would.
Make a perception check.
Sure. I get advantage on it too.
Yeah.
Ah. And I still have my mental acuity, right?
Yeah.
I think I got advantage.
Yep. So
It's not much better, but 14.
You don't recognize any of them.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You recognize them as Goliaths.
Right.
And you also, a lot of the times the tattoos will have some sort of pattern to them, depending on their tribe or anything. You don't immediately recognize what this one is.
Okay. That's a thing? The tribes have tattoos.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar idea to like Polynesian tattoos where they have some significance. And you'd
Okay.
only be kind of passingly familiar with them, but beyond the ones that you immediately know. But this is not one that you immediately know.
Fair enough. Okay. They don't mention anything about where they may be headed.
Just saying back to camp.
Back to camp.
Various iterations of that.
They don't say, "Oh, look, the sun is setting to the west. We must follow it."
No,
No.
they're moving southeast essentially.
Okay. So they're moving away from us then.
Yeah,
Okay. I was just wondering.
sure.
So I could relay this information. Well, I won't reveal myself then, and I suppose I will just fly on back.
Okay.
To where I presume my party is waiting for me, or unless they were moving on.
Well, either way,
Oh.
it's not very difficult for you to find them. They cut a bit of a figure.
Yeah.
And there's not much cover here. I mean, the grass is tall, but with the exception of Finn, it's waist high on all of you. It's like knee high on Kimatul and Verithas. So, unless you're really getting low down in the grass, you're not avoiding much.
Hmm.
So you get back, you poof back out.
Yeah, I'll poof back out.
Okay.
But like
Whoa.
super gracefully, where I just like fly down and then I'll just like.
Yeah, he does the thing where they like flare out their wings to land and like stick out his feet, and then as he does, and he just kind of gracefully lands. It's a very nice little touch.
Yeah, not like that time in the cave where I tried to deftly dodge someone and freaking bonked my head on the ceiling or something. It's not fun. But
Welcome
yeah.
back.
Oh yes, glad to be back. The
How
owl
did you
form
see?
is quite something, I must admit. I've never quite felt anything like it. That much freedom. In case you were wondering how I felt about that, but yeah, I found the source of the voices.
Yeah, what are they?
It was a pack of Goliaths, as a matter of fact,
Oh my.
with very distinct tattoos that were Polynesian type, but I don't know exactly what they looked like because I didn't ask. So
Well,
they had distinct tattoos, and we're talking about their success on the hunt, and now they were headed back to camp.
probably best we avoid them.
I'd say so. What do you say, 12 to 15?
Yeah, that you quickly counted.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of big boys.
A lot of large men and women will potentially beat the crap out of us if we're not careful. We don't want to encroach on their territory, I'm sure.
Well, the utility of talking to them would be perhaps that they know of a good way through the mountains, but I think it's perhaps best to just go it by ourselves because we don't want to risk them being hostile.
It's true, you can go your own way.
Took the bait. Had to be done.
I would agree. This does not sound like a friendly group.
How does Finn feel about
Goliath.
this?
Finn just goes, I only know a few that's much thicker than his accent is. I only know a few Goliaths. They always seemed fine, but those were Portneuf types. They weren't the ones you'd run into out in the wild, so
Did you meet him in the Copper Cutlass then?
there was a few.
Interesting.
And you all remember seeing one when you first went down to the basement of the Golden Trunk where you first encountered the Cutlass. There was, in the fighting pit before you guys, there was a Goliath fighting off a couple wolves.
I do remember that, yeah. Is that the sound of my gold clinking in my pocket?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Let's
now we
move.
know. We are more aware of our surroundings, which is always a good thing.
yes.
I
Are they
suppose we
coming,
best be moving on.
they're coming
Are they-
towards us?
Believe they were headed away from us towards the southeast. They never really mentioned it, but that was the inclination I was
I mean, they
getting.
were walking in a direction. They weren't.
They
just,
were
like,
walking in
ambling.
that direction, actually, yes. So I have a pretty good idea they're heading southeast.
Okay.
Regardless, let's keep an ear out.
Yes,
We don't
for
want to
sure.
have a run in with them.
I agree.
All right. We just keep tracking.
Keep on trucking. So the rest of the first day goes pretty uneventfully. You guys are all keeping an eye out for those Goliaths. Don't seem to notice them. You move further inland. The cold is increasing. Although at this point you've been exposed to it for so long, you're all fairly used to it. Vortis isn't bothered at all. Veritas isn't really bothered at all. Finn is from Port Neuf, so he's not too bothered. He's used to the cold weather. You two,
Having a hell of a time.
you're not happy boys. Dragonborn in general aren't terribly comfortable in cold climates. Neither are red tieflings, who are, I believe, you're resistant to heat, right? So you're kind of the opposite of what's prepared for this. A blue tiefling would probably be okay. But not terribly well suited to the climate. You're bundled up as best you can be, and you're not, in immediate danger of dying as long as you get to warm up by a fire every night. But you're not terribly happy about the current situation. You're looking forward to the next time you can go indoors and have a warm meal.
Very understandable.
The rest of the day passes more or less uneventfully, and you're still in these wide marshes. There doesn't seem to be any sign of that particular end of terrain going anywhere. You've been moving essentially parallel to a river north of you. It's kind of been coming in and out of view because it's not perfectly straight, obviously. But it's a fair distance away. So you make camp. For the sake of this, whoever wants to take watches, make perception checks for me for the night.
I will.
Okay.
I will
I
sit
guess
watch.
that's my job.
I can sit watch if you would like me to.
What's your wisdom, Riley?
High enough to sit watch.
Okay, go for it.
How many rolls do you want, Jeff?
Just one from each person who's doing a watch.
Okay.
How many
So-
watches are there?
Traditionally,
Three.
you guys do three
Gee.
sets of 4
18.
watches. 18. Who else is doing one?
I'll do one.
What you got?
I got 15.
Total?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
Charlie, or you want me to do it?
I can have Finn do it as well.
I reckon he has better perception than us.
It's not great. Less than 10 either way. The first 2 shifts of the night pass pretty uneventfully. Getting
God
into Finn's
damn it.
shift, the night still passes uneventfully. You all wake up the next morning. I gotta throw it at you every now and then. Next morning, you all come to consciousness just fine.
You're woken up by a dragon.
You're woken up. It's God. It is Orcus, the demon prince of undeath. He demands your souls. Technically does
I'd like
exist in
to
this
challenge him to a fiddle duel.
Well, the devil went down to Long Reach. He was looking for a soul to steal. No, you all come to consciousness just fine. Gather your things and keep on trekking. Walking along. It's not. The terrain's not interesting. The
Do I
weather
see
isn't
any-
fun. It's overcast. What'd you say, Riley?
Can I see any dead animals that we're passing?
Make a perception check.
This place is just like England.
7.
7. I mean, there have been dead animals in the sense that animals die in nature, but there haven't been any
Slain.
animals that you've noticed that have just been dead, killed or unnaturally so.
Okay.
There's some bits of carrion and carcasses that you've happened to cross just in the course of walking, but that's fairly normal.
Okay.
As you're walking today, you the area seems a bit waterier than it has before, and in this case that means more icy. And the ice here is fairly solid. Even Veritas and Kimbatul can kind of stomp on it, and it might kind of shift a little bit, but it's not going to buckle. So you have to move a little bit slower just to make sure you're not slipping and killing yourselves, but you're moving okay. As you go a little bit out into one of these ice patches, you hear a strange shifting sound. It sounds like grass, frozen grass moving and breaking and kind of crumbling all at once. And Veritas would notice this right off the bat, but the rest of you would eventually see it. You see a sort of stalk, the same color as the rest of the long grass here, kind of emerge up from a pile of dead grass and dead leaves, with 3 bulbous yellow eyes on it. And it kind of looks around at the creaking sounds on the ice, and then its eyes just lock onto you.
Kill it.
You said
I
I
don't know.
recognize. I just noticed it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you know. I mean, you have a bonkers passive perception, so you notice things pretty easily, but you didn't.
I continue to stride confidently forward across the ice, blissfully unaware.
And its head tracks your movement. And the second you step off the ice back onto solid ground, you hear ice cracking, vegetation moving, all this just horrible noise as a large, just awful looking creature. It's like if a hippo just went horribly, horribly wrong. It's about the size of a hippopotamus. It's got 2 big, stocky front legs and 1 single back leg. It's got... Let me pull up a picture so I'm doing this right. It's got a huge mouth, no eyes apparently on its head, no face, just a huge mouth with rows of sharp spiny teeth like needles. And then coming out of where we would have like the base of our spine, a series of long barbed tails and with an almost sort of prehensile tentacle-like nature. And one of those is the one with the 3 eyes you noticed on it before. And it starts moving in your direction. Go ahead and make a roll for initiative. And I will go ahead and get roll 20 rolling.
Which is a 10.
Woo! Oh, that
Rolled
was
a
a
nat
good roll.
20.
What a waste. Sword.
Question, can you guys all see your shit on the initiative tracker, the turn order?
Well, there's nobody on there yet for us. I see a turn order. I see our names, but I don't see, like...
Yeah, I don't see, the turn
I don't
order
see
looks
us.
blank to me.
It's all you do
Turn
see your
order.
names on it, though.
No, it
No.
just looks blank
Okay.
right now.
Type in a number and hit enter and see what happens.
Uh,
No.
okay, I know what to do. Hold on. I'm figuring it out. Oh, and Mari is also with you, by the way, still in chains. Still very unhappy. Finn's just sort of been handling her.
How's Bard holding up?
Seems fine.
Jeff, it now says there aren't currently any
Yeah, I'm
tokens on
working
this
on
page.
How about now?
Oh,
Yeah.
there we are.
There you go.
Aha.
So now, if you type in a number, will we see it? You
Yeah.
think? What's my dex? +2.
I do hate that by the virtue of Roll20, you sort of have to see the names of these creatures, but this is, in fact,
Otyugh.
an Otyugh. They're really
That's-
ugly if you want to Google image searching. Go ahead and sort yourselves out how you want to be located. You're traveling...
I'm confidently striding.
So it's north of you guys, so you were moving east.
Wait, we were walking east and it popped up north of us?
Yeah, it heard you. It's not very far from you. It just heard you.
Okay.
I'll be over towards the front because that's where
All
I
right, let's
normally
get some
am when we're
initiatives.
traveling.
Pat?
19.
Nice. Veritas?
22.
Finn? Charlie, can you play for Finn?
Maybe
I think he sent us a text a couple weeks ago with all the stuff.
before he was level 5.
It's true. You can wing it to O'Reilly's gone.
What is he probably? Oh, he has that new bow. It's 2d4.
Riley, what's that initiative?
It's a 10.
What was yours, Vorties?
11. Finn's got a 15 plus whatever his dex is.
We'll call
which is
it.
probably-
We'll call it 18.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Bard gets a solid. Nope, that's wrong. Oh, I don't even have Bard's character sheet up. I'm the worst.
Get your shit together, man.
I'm
What
trying.
The hell.
I haven't had combat in a couple weeks.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Dex is plus
Oh, I have
3 for
level 3
Bob. Also
spells.
13. That's pretty silly. Yes, you do.
Ooh, this is a wide open area for some potential
And the
bad things to
Otiug
happen to this thing.
rolls a solid that one on initiative. So cool.
It's early in the morning. He's just getting up.
He's
like,
not happy.
"How dare
woke
waken
him
me
up before you
from
guys
my
got here.
slumber."
And for the purpose of this, I'm
th-
saying Mari is being hidden. Riley, are you here? Yes, he is.
Here.
Okay.
Is his bow +1? And is it a real magic item?
It is not a real magic item. It's a homebrew. I'll send you the description. I sent it to Granite already.
I thought he was like, "Is it real?" As in, like, is it actually magical, or did Malkos just lie to us? It's not magical.
It's just fake.
This hat I'm wearing, it actually does nothing.
It adds +1 to intimidation factor.
+1 fashion.
Yeah, fashion is the most important stat.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Verdathas,
Every Dark Souls player knows this.
Yes.
you are the
So-
first to go.
How big is this thing?
It's,
Large.
larger than a hippopotamus. It's a fairly sizable creature.
Okay.
Large in
Wow.
technical terms. But
I want to
Should have a
cast a spell at it.
okay, go for it.
should have a +9 to hit.
I don't know anything about this thing, so hopefully it's not resistance to lightning. But I want to cast Call Lightning because I think that spell is really.
That's a fun spell.
Okay, what's the range on Call Lightning?
120 feet.
Yeah, you don't have any
Big.
trouble hitting.
Well, Call Lightning is you make a big cloud. It's a concentration spell.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can just strike stuff as a bonus action. No, it's full action.
I think it's full. Yeah.
Okay.
But when I cast it, you can do it as well. I think.
Yep, sounds right. Okay, is that a saving throw or an attack roll for you?
Saving throw.
Yeah, Dex saving throw.
Dex.
What's your DC?
I guess against my spell
Yeah,
save
it's always against
DC,
your spell save DC.
which it's been a while since I looked at that. Hopefully, I had it right.
Assuming this fails, because he has +0 to Dex, but just wanted to double check.
Okay, my spell save DC is 16.
Yeah, he fails with a natural 14 +0.
Oof. It's a close one.
So go ahead and roll damage.
That means you take 3d10 damage.
So you all watch as Felderos just goes full Halle Berry X-Men Storm mode, and just...
You mean
huge-
Verdathas.
What did I say?
You said Felderos.
I did. Verdathas. You all have names.
You didn't even get the other one with the
Verdathas'
V.
eyes crackle with electric energy, and you see the storm cloud, very localized, form over this enemy, and immediately just as a lightning bolt comes down, it does.
Oh shit. That's 9 on the first. Fucking god. Get in the thing. If it's a 0, that means it's 10, right?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay.
Damn.
No, 0.
And that's another 9.
Jesus Christ.
Holy moly.
That's 28.
Big damage.
Damn.
Yeah, 28.
28 points of
D10.
damage. This lightning bolt comes down and just wrecks this thing.
It's not stormy conditions, right?
I ask that
No.
literally every single time.
That's not stormy.
So what's the weather looking like?
Do you get bonus damage if it's stormy?
Yeah.
You get an extra D10, yeah. I just saw that.
It's not stormy. You see this thing
Damn.
stagger right as she hits one of its tails, and just take a serious blast of lightning. Anything else?
I guess I'll bonus action Shillelagh my staff.
Shillelagh!
What else are you gonna do?
Love it. Kimatool.
Bonus action into a beast.
Okay. Question.
Yeah.
So the terrain we're in is like very swampy.
Right. So you're
So
essentially
is
all
this
on a
guy-
frozen pond right now. Yeah.
Is this guy covered in water?
Yes.
He should have been 2 times.
It's
I
more
don't
like
know.
mud, but
He's
he's
a
wet.
water type, and I just thunderbolted him. He should have taken 2 times damage.
I feel like my fire is not going to be quite as effective here if I do that. So I'm just gonna cast magic missile at 2nd level.
okay. Go ahead and roll. However many d4 plus.
I don't remember. Hang on.
Magic missile always confuses me.
It's gonna be 4, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
First one is 4 plus 1. So that's 5 plus 4 is 9. 12, 13 total
13.
force damage.
13 points of force damage as this thing, recoiling from getting hit by lightning, just then, as the very familiar darts of magic energy slam into its kind of chest as it reared back from getting hit by lightning. What's Finn doing?
Does he get 3 attacks?
He gets 2 attacks on his... Oh! No, he'd get 3, because he can get an attack as a bonus action when he's the... No, but he wasn't the first to go in this combat, and I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I thought it was on his... Hang on.
Hold on.
This character.
Rangers, man. Goddamn. Nope, I was wrong. It's his first turn of combat. So if he takes the attack action, he can make 1 additional weapon attack as part of that action.
Oh,
if that attack hits, the target takes an extra 1d8 damage.
all right, so he's gonna bonus action Hunter's Mark.
Cool.
And he's gonna make 3 attacks with his sweet bow. Is that even real?
What?
What?
Oh, dear. This is either really good or really bad.
Oh, fuck, I can't get close enough.
Just tell us. I believe you.
Oh no, it's not going to focus.
1. Oh,
2 nat ones.
big sad.
Yo, he re-rolls now.
And?
Oh, that's true. He rerolls nat ones.
A 2.
I rolled 3d20 and got 4.
He rerolls nat
Re-rolls
ones.
ones.
Halflings,
Sick.
baby. Watch this both turn into 20s.
It says 26 to hit and a 21 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
So Hunter's Mark only procs once, right?
I believe so.
So he's rolling 2d4 plus a bunch. What is damage bonus? Just straight dex?
Yeah.
So it's 2d4 plus 3 twice, plus a d6, plus a d8 for the first turn.
Correct.
So 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 6, 14, plus a d6 for Hunter's Mark. It's 15, plus the d8 is 21.
21 points of damage. You guys are not letting this thing off easy. 21.
I can't believe I rolled 2. I rolled 6 nat 1s on last Thursday in my other session, and I'm already off to a flying start this session.
But at least you're Jaegering a halfling who, creates such things.
Like, what the fuck?
Nice hit.
What happened? How much damage did he do?
Finn did, what,
21.
21 points of damage?
Originally, it was 0 because he rolled 2 nat 1s and a 2.
But
And I'm
halflings
just
can
like
reroll
that
that one.
recently.
Because they're just
So that dies in jail, right?
I rolled 6 nat 1s in my last session that I played with my other group on Thursday. 2 on each die and 0 nat 20s because that makes sense.
All right.
Variance, man. It be like that sometimes.
It do be like that sometimes.
I do.
Oh, it's Bar's turn.
It is Bard's turn. So Bard is going to... Doesn't want to use the big dog just yet. Is just going to cast
Oh, I'm so close.
Thunder Wave.
Wait, how'd you do that?
I entered Bar's character into Roll20. It takes way too long. It's not worth it. But it's...
Are you sure?
No, you can do it. You can mess around with it if you want. It's a mild pain in the ass.
I don't see shit.
If you look in that
It's
chat
on
bar,
the chat bar, yeah.
it just means I can pull up the spell as I cast it, which is handy. So he'll actually cast this at level 2. Oh, that sweeps out from him. So hold on. Can you get close enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, he can.
Getting up there.
So Var's just running in, and immediately just gets there, and casts Thunderwave. OTO makes a dex save. Nat 1. Guy's rolling great. Taking 3d8. Not great rolls, but that's 9 points of thunder damage and is pushed about 10 feet away. Okay, cool. For the second time now, you hear the thunderous crackle of thunder as things go on. For a bonus action, he's going to inspire, who hasn't gone yet, Felderos. Just with a brief shout, you feel the bardic energy run through you. You now have a d8 inspiration die you can add onto any d20 roll. Felderos. I cannot hear you.
Thought it was 4Ds, no?
Yeah, I thought it was me.
Oh,
too.
I'm sorry. Just misread that. Sorry. Go ahead. Good thing you guys can see it, otherwise I'd just be making shit up. All right.
You're just getting everything mixed up today.
I'm
Called
Not
me
that I
Felderos.
I can't really do anything, but you know,
How far away are you?
35
considerable.
feet.
Ooh. You know why? It's because Bar pushed him away an extra 10 feet.
Just dash. Just use all your movement speed and then some. Try to grapple it.
I would need an action to grapple it.
You would.
But you know what I can do now, so you might as fucking well.
You're gonna cast some sick buff. Paladins can probably do that, right?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna use my movement to get to like. Oh yeah. Yeah. Use my movement to get to like here, and then cast Misty Step.
Okay.
So now,
An unconventional use of Misty Step where you use it to close on your enemy instead of back the fuck away. But alright.
And
That's
then
what Misty Step does? You can just teleport like that?
It's like a short
Yeah.
range.
it's a
Think
30
of it
foot
as like
teleport as a
tactical
bonus
retreat
action.
from Divinity. Similar idea.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna
Does
make
he also hasted for 1 turn?
no.
That'd be
Yes.
sick.
Yes. And I'm gonna make 2 attacks with my longsword of
Oh, you can
wounding.
attack twice now.
Mm-hmm.
Both of which might hit.
This dude hasn't even. We don't even know this dude's armor class. We've just been pelting him from afar.
That's a 15
15 hits.
I
and
guess it didn't.
17.
17 hits.
I'm going to use Juan Smite.
Smite. Go ahead and roll.
Well, I'll use the first smite. We'll see about the second.
Alright.
So the first one does. How much damage do I do with this? Oh, yeah, D8 plus 7. And then a D4. And then my smite is 2 more D8. He doesn't happen to be a fiend, does he? Or an undead?
He is not.
Not the best rolls in the world. It takes 1 necrotic damage. Takes
Wow.
10 radiant damage.
Okay.
And 12 slashing damage.
Okay. So that takes it. Okay. Yep.
He has been smoked.
How's he looking?
He's taking a couple hits. Still doing okay though.
Hey, we'll use another smite.
Alright.
My goodness.
You're just gonna use all your spell slots.
Yep, fuck them. Don't need them. So that's another 3d8 plus 7. Oh, and a d4. Forgot about my d4. Oh, these rolls are much worse. 2 necrotic, 3 radiant, and 11 slashing.
Okay.
Total of 14.
14. Alright.
Okay, I'm tapped, boys. I'm totally useless from this point on.
If only you had Hunter's Mark tag, give you a little bit extra damage. Oh wait.
I had to use my bonus
Yeah.
action to cast Misty Step.
I'm just messing. Okay.
Come on, I think about these things.
So you guys just see Vortis run, and then in a cloud of fog and kind of emerge just right behind the Otyugh, and then just unleash a powerful burst of radiant attacks on him, doing a reasonably good amount of damage across all of them. Felderos.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom right quick.
Yeah, he's on the phone right now. You can't see because it's just out of frame.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm doing business. It's very important business. Gotta take care of this business real quick.
Y'all, there's a flood going on. I have to end the flood.
Okay, that's fine.
Fair enough, yeah.
It's just down the hall, but I don't know what's going on. So.
All right, go deal with your shit.
Yeah, man.
Jeff?
Yeah.
I was going to use my Purple Lightning at 2nd level.
Got it.
And
you can't, it's a cantrip.
What?
You can't cast a cantrip at higher levels. That's not how cantrips
But it
work.
increases damage each level I get. Okay. But level 5, it does 2d10.
That's it's not a 2nd level. It's just your experience level makes it do it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yeah. All right, but I gotta go.
Okay. So you all see Felderos step forward and pull up again a very familiar sickly purple-black magic energy, shooting it straight at the Otyugh, doing 2d10 force damage. It's 12. And that'll be that for now. Riley had to go deal with some sort of minor emergency, so there you go.
Well, it's just a flood.
Jeff, I see you logging on to Apex.
No, I just opened up Origin, my dude.
Yeah, all right. And now, finally, it is the Otyugh's turn.
Hello.
It's not the Halo flood. It's just water flood.
It's not like little zombie shit. Okay. Seeing this flurry of blows I got from Vortex coming up behind it, the Otyugh angrily turns around. And it's going to make all 3 of its multi-attack on Vortex.
Goodbye, friends.
The first attack is a nat 17.
Definitely hits.
Yeah, it's 23 total. So that's a bite. Its first tentacle hits. That's a 21. What's your armor class?
20.
With the cloak?
Yes.
Okay. And
we gave Vortis the cloak.
The last tentacle
See,
slam.
this is why I took the cloak, is to have everything still hit.
The last tentacle slam misses with a nat 5. I rolled a lot of nat 1s so far, so I was charging the dice.
That was just Vortis realizing he's tired of getting hit, so he finally tried to get out of the way for once.
Yeah. It's not my fault you're the one that always runs in and annoys everything. Of course they're going to attack you most.
Hey, that's his job.
Yeah.
He's a great meat shield.
Okay, so the bite attack is going to do...
Really not. Don't have enough HP for this.
I guess that's also
12 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I should be good at those. I'm not that good at those. It's an 18.
You're fine. You feel the poison of the Otyugh try to seep into you, but you tense up your muscles and you manage to ride it out. The tentacle attack does 5 points of bludgeoning damage and 7 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
And you are considered grappled and restrained.
Oh?
Grappled and restrained.
On God.
And as he grabs you with the first tentacle, the last tentacle unfortunately does not make contact with you. And that is going to be the Otyugh's turn. That takes us back. Actually, as that fight is commencing, and you see this now pretty, not on death's door, but pretty wounded Otyugh happen, you see a secondary shift in the terrain. Not another Otyugh. This appears to be a writhing mass of vines and other plant life that emerges from the grass, just on this little kind of mini island next to you. It is, in fact, a shambling mound.
Okay. Huh.
And I'm going to roll initiative for that. Rolled pretty okay. -1. So that's a...
They're not very dexterous.
Not very dexterous, the Shambling Mounds now. They have shambling right in the name. So there you go. So a new player has entered the battlefield. Verditas.
Right. So I've still got my storm going.
You do.
I was looking to see if there are any spells that I could like talk to the plant, maybe like tell him to calm down. But I don't think I have any.
Yo,
of those
chill out,
kinds
bro.
of things.
Hey,
Chill
hey.
out, chill out.
And also now Charlie's grappled by the OTO, so if I call lightning on that bitch, he's gonna have to make a saving throw, and I probably don't want that.
You just got to make it on the other side.
You are being
I can-
held
I
by
guess-
this creature.
I can kill it without killing Charlie. So if you don't want to attack it, then that's cool.
I mean, I'm basically just gonna call lightning bolts on one of these two things, so I guess it'll have to be the shambling mound. Because
How far can you move the lightning cloud?
Well, to start with, it's a 10 feet tall, 60-foot radius. I guess it's centered on a point you can see 100 feet directly above you.
Right, I'm asking
So
if
it's-
you can move the...
I never thought about where I put it.
Right. You only
I
have
just
one
figured
target.
it was, a storm.
It is basically just a big fuck ass cloud.
Well, it's a
Like
60.
a class
It's a
of
60-foot wide cloud, so it depends where you put
I
it.
think it might be a 60-foot radius cloud.
It is. That's right.
So
Oh,
that's
okay. It's
120.
fine.
So
I'll
it's
say you're
fucking
fine for both of
massive.
these targets.
So it's a fucking huge cloud.
You're fine. You're fine for both of these targets.
Okay.
Remember, you and I. Let's both remember to keep that in
I'll
mind
remember
for
that,
future.
yeah. It's a large cloud. How large is this diagonal that you're making right here?
It's about that big.
There you go. Yeah, you're fine.
I have to zoom out. I can't see it.
It's big. It's most of the map.
So yeah, I'm gonna use an action. Call lightning on the shambling mound.
Okay.
Make your dex save if you dare.
Nope. It was a 9.
Has the weather gotten any worse?
I mean, there's a
past
huge
6
lightning cloud here
seconds?
now, but the overall climate has not changed.
Damn it. It's worth a shot. All right, here we go. That's an 8. We're rolling really good on these. Not so good. Jinxed it.
60-foot radius.
Okay, an 8, a 2, and an 8. So 18 damage.
18 total. Okay.
I don't add anything to that, right?
With the sound like lightning hitting a tree.
No,
it just,
you
I guess they figure 3d10 is enough damage. You don't need to add like your wisdom or spell, whatever.
You only get that on attacks.
So, with the sound of lightning hitting a tree, you hear this horrible sound, and then you look. The shambling mound appears completely untouched.
Sick.
Nice.
Are we talking immunity to lightning damage?
It does not appear like it took any damage.
So
Sweet.
sick.
Now you know.
Now you know.
It didn't even like spark a little bit, like a little.
I mean,
flame
a little bit, but nothing that did any sort of lasting harm.
All right. In the meantime, I will back away then, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't know how far I can go.
You can go 30 feet. And
Well, maybe like all the way over there. Yeah.
commit tool.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay,
5, 6.
I'm just gonna fireball this boy,
The mound?
the Otyug, and I'm gonna save Vordies with sculpt spells.
Oh, okay. I was forgetting the sculpt spell because I was like, that's bold. Alright, go for it. Or that's a dex save?
Yeah, you make a dex save. You
What
have to
is
beat
the radius of fireball?
20-foot radius.
It's big.
You could conceivably hit both of them, I think,
Whoa. Oh, 20-foot
Uh,
radius.
if you're interested.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do it.
So if I did that, just
Kill
thinking for
him.
a second, if I
Kill
did
him
that,
now.
who else would that hit? Would that hit Bar and Felderos?
Perhaps not.
Well, you can sculpt
I don't
spell,
know.
right?
Let's find out.
I'm just trying to. I think I can save all of them. I think.
It would Bar would probably be fine. Felderos would probably be just caught by the edge of it.
Yeah. Okay. It's
But
third.
he's-
I could save 4 people.
Yeah.
so
Okay. So either way, you're fine.
He's a fire tiefling anyway.
All right. So that's a couple of dex saves. So the OTG rolls a 4, and the Shambling Mound rolls
Damn,
a
dude.
8 minus 1. So go ahead and roll
Not bad.
48. Or sorry, 86 is Fireball.
86.
I expect the fire to be more effective than the lightning, hopefully.
That would kind of make sense.
You'd think. Maybe it's just a hallucination.
I'm trying to keep track of that.
Who knows?
20. That's 31 fire damage.
31 points of fire damage. The Odeog takes it and is looking pretty bad.
He's not dead?
Nope.
Fuck.
The Shambling Mound does take damage. Does not appear to be as much damage as the Odeog took.
He has damage resistance.
He's a wet
Dude,
ball of
Yo,
plants.
but he's a grass type.
Yeah, but he's very wet.
Yeah.
And it's mud as much as he is plant. So
He's actually grass water hybrid.
anything else in your turn, Kimito?
I'll take neutral damage though.
I'm actually gonna bonus action Misty step myself away from that thing.
That's a spell.
You could do that too.
Isn't it? You can't cast 2 spells in the same.
Yeah, you can't cast 2 spells.
Oh yeah,
at a
you're
time.
right. You're right. Never mind. I'm
Okay.
good.
Just run away.
You do have
Oh
movement.
yeah,
though.
yeah. I'll just run away.
I was gonna say. You're not near anything.
Also bearing
Just
in
run.
mind, so you are all on ice right now, with the exception now of was it Alt for a circle? We'll say I'm moving this. Hold on. Whoops.
This guy Rip Felderos.
Eh.
It's really hard to
Roughly
grab on
this
shapes.
area is now just water, as the fireball just completely nukes the ice.
Sick.
And there's a little square here that I...
Does
Get
the ice
fucked.
feel a little bit weaker around us?
well, the fact that a huge chunk of it was just fucking obliterated, it's not as strong. I mean, it's fairly thick ice, so you're not in immediate danger that you realize, but something to keep in mind. Okay, what's Finn doing?
He's gonna go for a spin.
He's just gonna plink. What's his range? 120 feet.
He'll be fine to hit either of them.
The big boy, even if he uses, does he have 30 feet of movement? 25. Even.
25, he's a halfling.
Sad.
The little stumpy feet.
I can't move him. Oh wait, yeah, no, I can't move him. But
where you
move
wanna
him
go?
over thereabouts,
Back in the way.
or maybe like hereabouts, so that it actually makes sense to have line of sight, not over bar.
Sure.
Yeah, and he's gonna plink that guy
Okay.
2 more times.
You could always stand on
One
my
more
shoulders
time.
if you want.
Take an
No.
athletics check to climb up there.
Nope. 14 to hit.
14 just hits.
The other one's an 11. Does he have to decide whether or not he's using that special shit before or after he?
I think it says in the thing. Let me look. I know I wrote all these weapons, but I don't remember what they all do.
Double shot.
I wrote a lot of stuff.
Both
Let me
strings,
see.
2 missiles to no one target. I don't know.
I would say you'd have to do it before you roll.
Oof.
Okay.
And then you just roll like shit and you miss. That's.
So
I guess
yeah,
that makes sense though, but it feels
Brutal.
It's mostly so you can't be like, I critted, so now I get bonus. Yeah.
2d4 plus. How do I have +7?
I don't know. Do your math on your own time.
Oh, okay. Wow, 2 4s. Sick. He does 11 damage.
11 points of damage as the Oteog is still holding on to Vortis, but is just on death's door.
Oh, wait. Plus another
How much
5
more?
damage.
Still not quite there,
God damn it.
bad. Wait a minute.
but looking extremely rough at this point. That takes us to the Shambling Mound's turn.
Yikes.
He trips into the water and drowns.
Trips into seeing that Felderos did not have a chance to move after the Shambling Mound entered the fray, he's going to move across the ice over to him.
I wonder what the movement speed of a giant pile of vines that are incredibly.
It's not far, but it's
I can
far
imagine,
enough. And it's going to make its 2 slam attacks against Felderos. That's a 2. And that is a 13 plus 7, which I know hits.
Yeah, that'll hit.
So that does... Someone just keep track of
Plus
damage for
7.
Riley. So that's going to do 9 points of bludgeoning damage. Felderos is now also engulfed by the shambling mound. He is blinded, restrained, and unable to breathe.
So like being underwater, or you like
It's
choking
like being
out?
in muds and vines that are actively trying to strangle you.
So you can't really do that for long, huh?
Probably not. Did someone take damage down for?
You said 9.
Yeah. And that
9
is
points of damage.
9, and that is the mound's turn. Bar, seeing that happen.
9.
Actually, hold on. Hold the damn phone.
What was that noise?
I'm checking something Bard can do, because I don't want to fuck it up. Yeah, okay. Bar's gonna see Vordice in the Odiug and see Felderos in the Shambling Mound. And just sigh again. And is going to cast Polymorph on Felderos.
Becoming a theme.
Turning him into a giant crocodile, which I don't happen to have a token for. And I'm not going to get one because it'll take forever. So, for the purposes of this, the Shambling Mound goes to engulf Felderos, who suddenly just into a 25-foot long beast of a croc.
How large is the Shambling Mound then?
About 15 by 15.
Okay.
And just explodes out of the maw of the Shambling Mound and turns around. And you see Felderos kind of look at his hands for a second, and it's just like, oh, crocodile. But is now ready to go. That was partially to make your life, or whoever wants to Jaeger for Felderos easier, because now you can just Jaeger a giant crocodile instead of having to know all this shit. And the bonus action is going to send another inspiration to Vordice with another one of his primordial calls. You have a D8 inspiration die. Felderos.
Only he wasn't grappled and restrained. No, Vordice goes before Felderos.
I'm sorry, Vordice. I keep skipping you for some reason.
Is it an action to get out of this? I'm assuming it is action to make a strength check to get out.
Sorry, I'm looking at the Odiug. Actually, doesn't say. I think it's just a standard grapple, so yeah, it would be an action to break it. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm just going to attack this man.
Okay, at disadvantage because you were restrained.
Yeah. First one is a... $13.
13 just misses.
Sad.
Doesn't have a terribly high AC, but it's...
Second one is a 15.
15 hits.
Hooray.
Good roll damage.
It's 14 slashing.
14 slashing.
And 4 necrotic.
You all see Vordice, who is just being bound by one of these massive meaty tentacles of her tail spikes, whatever you want to call it, of the Otiug, just awkwardly grabs his sword and slices the tentacle off and plunges it into the back of the Otiug, who drops dead.
Sick.
What are you doing the rest of your turn?
He's going for a swim.
I'm going to put the link to the old
I like this.
giant crocodile stats if anyone wants to pull those up for
Jeff, do you want to do it or you want me to do it?
You mean me, Jeff?
Yes, you, Jeff.
I can do it, sure.
I can do it if you don't want to.
No, I mean, I'm used to using
That's
other
fair.
animal
Yeah,
stats.
that's fair.
I'll try and
Eventually, you'll
croc-
be able to keep up with
Yeah, I'm gonna plop into the water.
Okay, go for it. It's not very deep. I mean, it's about 3 feet.
It's probably pretty chilly, I'd imagine.
Swim over here.
Yep.
They're both at the same speed, so.
Yep, fair enough. So you see Vortius just smite this thing where it stands and then make its way into the
Do you
water.
count that separately? Do you do run speed and then swim speed the rest?
I mean, technically you would,
it's
but
it's
mine
all
are
in the
both
same
30
turn,
feet,
so I would do
doesn't
it
matter.
fractionally,
Okay.
but for him it doesn't make too much of a difference.
Okay.
You have another attack. Are you using it?
No, I missed my first.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Felderos in crocodile form.
Oh, that's me.
Felderocodile.
What can I do? Multi-attack. Bite and tail. Makes sense. Can hold its breath for 30 minutes. Try to strangle that, you bitch. Target is grappled. One target not grappled by the crocodile. Touching damage. Target is a creature.
Grapple. Grapple your
I
grappler.
mean, Felderos is
grappling
probably
you.
pretty upset at the being strangled bit, so he's gonna multi-attack.
Man finds a way to get engulfed by literally everything you guys fight. So.
And then Bar always bails him out with the polymorph. Yeah, he's gonna multi-attack the shambling mound because there's
Okay.
nothing else to do, really.
Roll a couple attacks for me.
Okay. So I guess it's 2 attacks, 1 bite, 1 tail attack.
Yep.
So the bite is 12 plus 8 to hit.
That'll hit.
20 to hit. Okay. And then I guess I'll roll the tail hit.
Okay.
That is 18 plus 8 to hit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so the bite.
3d10 plus 5.
3d10 plus 5, yes. Really, it's like the first time I've rolled d10s, like ever.
Yeah, I almost never use
It's
them.
a 6.
They were my hit
No,
dice.
6.
Not a
6, 6, 4.
So,
So 16
16
damage plus 5 is 20.
Nice. That's just on one attack. Nice.
That's piercing damage.
Yep.
Can a shambling mound be grappled?
Yeah.
I guess you're grappled then?
Yeah, so Felderos just says, well, how do you like me now, bitch? Just in his huge crocodile maw, just takes this, just shaking it back and forth.
And then for the tail, what's that? 2d8 plus 5?
Yes.
Yeah. Just gotta pick out my actual dice. 6. Nice. And 1. So 7 plus 5 is 12. Or 7 plus 1 plus 5, yeah.
So
13.
13 points of damage.
Or actually, I don't know if you can do that.
Do what?
Because once you're grappled, I don't know if this is saying you can't hit someone with a tail when you're grappling them.
Oh,
So this is melee?
For the purposes of...
I guess the shambling mound is also not a creature.
it's a creature.
Because it says if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a DC 16 strength saving throw
Yeah.
or be knocked prone.
Prone and grappled. Sure.
I don't know how this all
Would you?
works.
Okay, let me put it this way. Would you rather he be prone or grappled? Because he'll be one, but not the other.
I don't quite remember. Prone means that it's auto crit, right? On everything?
No.
No, it's because I'm conscious.
Advantage for melee attacks.
Advantage. And then grappled means he just can't move.
Grappled doesn't mean shit. Except
Grappled
the
just
speed.
means he can't move.
Well, he already can't do shit. So, but the grapple is guaranteed and the prone is not.
What are you sticking with?
I'll stick with the grapple.
Cool.
I like the idea of him just shaking this thing around in his mouth.
Yeah, that's essentially what
So he led with the tail and then went for the bite, I guess.
the OTO
Just to
dead
make
as
that
fuck.
make sense.
So that takes us to Vertithus.
Oh, and I get to go 2 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So now this thing's grappled, but I probably still don't want to get close. The lightning didn't do shit, so what spells do I have prepared? A hold person. Maybe charm person, yeah. I think all of my spells are useless, so
You do have a shillelagh's staff, right?
I do, yeah.
Shillelagh.
I don't want to get too close, but I guess he's grappled.
You also
so
have Wild Shape, which is probably your greatest asset. But
that's true.
Yeah, fuck
Gotta-
that noise.
I only have 2 of those per day,
That's true.
per long rest, I guess.
Short rest.
Short rest. Because I'm a fancy boy. All right, I'm going to run up and smack the thing.
all right.
It's been a while since I got something good old smack. 16 plus. What do you fucking add to hit? I don't even remember.
Isn't it?
The attack.
To that you
I
add
just-
wisdom and strength, I think, and
Wisdom.
proficiency.
Right, because
That's what Shillelagh does.
it's technically magic, yeah. And then it's a D8 plus my spell stuff. 6 plus what's my
That's with your spellcasting modifier. That's what Shillelagh does.
yeah,
if I
so
remember
6
correctly.
plus 8.
14,
14.
points of magic bludgeoning damage.
With my staff on this giant mound, I just went thwack.
It's less of like a thwack than you kind of stick it in and like try to snap a couple of branches off.
Okay, yeah, I can live with that.
To get behind it. Timbatul.
I wish I could double it.
Yes.
Not a
Going
melee
to
boy.
cast Big Boy Shatter.
Okay.
And I'm going to save Felderos and Verdathos.
Cool. And you're casting it at
That Shatter. Just right on like
No, which
the
level,
center
sorry?
point. Oh, hang on. I'll cast it at 3rd level and use
Cool.
my ability
Got it.
that uses a 2nd level spot.
Go for it.
Wow.
So that is you two are fine. What's the save on that? Con?
It's
I believe it's con.
con save. Yeah.
That is a 17.
That succeeds.
Still takes half damage.
I can imagine these things are pretty hardy. They got that high con.
It's 21, so it takes 10 damage.
10
10
points
thunder.
of thunder damage, which is something.
Thunder damage.
Thunder damage, which is not the same thing as lightning damage. Okay.
Really?
Well, I guess
I thought this out. I thought about it.
I think thunder is technically the same thing as force damage. I don't know why for shatter in particular it's marked something else. I don't see thunder damage written literally anywhere else.
And the Tempest Druids can also do thunder.
It's a little
with-
awkward, but
Shocking something.
Shocking Grasp?
No, it's a reaction.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Whatever the fuck that is. When you take damage, you just
Okay. Anything else in your turn?
No.
Okay. Finn. Which means you, Charlie.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna plink this man twice
Plinkety plink.
and move a little bit farther away.
He's
Like
gonna
down,
call out.
down here somewhere.
Hey Finn, hey Felderos, turn over this way. Get your giant crocodile ass out of the way.
He's going plinky plink. What die have been rolling well for me recently? Oh yeah, literally none of them. He's gonna move his hunter's mark over there first.
Sure.
Let's get that out of the way. First one is a 16. Second one is a 25.
Both hit.
Did he even cast the first hunter's mark?
Yeah, he did.
I must have missed that.
6. 4. Weird magical. Don't know what fucking damage type that is because it's hunter's mark and nobody fucking knows. 5 plus 3. That's 8. Piercing? Regular piercing? Magical piercing? Who knows?
This would be magical piercing because it's from a +1 bow.
And then 7, also magical piercing. So 4, 8, and 7. 15. 19
19.
damage.
19. Oh god, this is... There's some subtraction that just makes my head explode, and this is one of them. Okay. When just there's certain numbers that direct, it's very confusing. Okay. Anything else? Oh no, that was his bonus action.
I don't really know what he has as a bonus
No, it's
actions.
fine. Well,
I
it
don't
would have
think
been
he has
bonus
anything
action
too
to move the
fancy.
hunter's mark.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
bonus
moving.
action move hunter's mark. Good call.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he's going to move a little bit farther away.
Sure.
He's going to keep continually retreat
Alright,
down
so
here.
it is
about
the
somewhere.
Shambling Mound's turn. It's grappled by the fucking crocodile right now.
Should have played around it.
Grapple me? No, bud. Grapple you.
Well, an interesting turn. He's now going to look at the furbolgs that just whacked him. Because he's not capable of engulfing a large crocodile, but he is capable of engulfing a furbolg. So he's going to make 2 attacks against you. They'd be at No, they wouldn't, because he's grappled.
No, they wouldn't, because he's grappled. He's not restrained.
Yep. So that is not great. 12 doesn't hit you.
No.
Second attack is a 17, which I believe does.
Just barely.
Alright, so that is a slam attack, which is going to do 2 8s on the D8, I'm sorry. 20 points of bludgeoning damage. And you are now considered engulfed.
I don't even get to make a save, dude. That's just rude.
No, on your next turn, or on its next turn, you do.
I'm gonna just make myself tiny and leave, though. So, see ya.
But yeah, you are considered engulfed.
So I didn't want to get close, but
you are blinded, restrained, and unable to breathe for the time being.
Just hold
that breath.
I'i've got large lung capacity.
You can hold your breath for like 4 minutes or some absurd amount, so you're fine. Bard, still maintaining concentration on the polymorph, is going to cast. Doesn't have much.
Oh, do I have to like roll to not lose concentration on my?
Yes, you do actually. Thank you for reminding me.
Because we never do that, right? Yeah. I don't even know how that works. What do I roll?
Roll a Constitution saving throw. Riley, you're a giant crocodile, which I thought was appropriate for your flood. Bar polymorphed you.
You can thank Bar.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we fighting?
So you killed the Otiug, and now it's a shambling mound, which is a big kind of semi-sentient ball of mud and vines, and it's not very nice. It already engulfed you once and did 9 points of damage, by the way.
Oh yeah, but you're a crocodile now, so
yeah.
Did it come out of my crocodile health?
No, it came out of your actual health.
So I make a con save, right?
Yeah.
So I roll D20, add con. I rolled an 18 on the die.
So that Charlie, help me remember. Concentration saving throw, it's half the amount of damage took plus 10?
No, it's just half the amount of damage taken.
So you're fine.
10.
So you're right. Okay.
10 is the minimum you have to beat. If someone does 1 damage to you, you still got to beat a 10.
Yeah. So you're fine. So you took 20 damage, so
30
10 either way, so you're fine.
15.
Okay.
Someone does 100 damage to you, you got to beat a 50.
Yeah.
I want to clarify that I may have to go at any time.
Yeah,
the flood is in my building, currently going and leaking onto the electrical box in the building.
Fun.
You're
waiting
only
for a
half on the
callback
first
from
floor.
the electrician. Might lose power. I don't know.
It'll be what
I don't know enough about.
Yeah.
Your bed's on the second floor.
What's
You'll be
flooded?
fine.
Is the bathroom flooded?
Yeah, one of the bathrooms on the floor.
Oh,
it's a good day to fight in the swamp.
Super hot.
In any case,
just don't get tangled up in a shambling mound.
Thank you for reminding me about that concept. That's good looking out.
Did we have a long rest before this?
Yes.
Didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just clarifying.
You should be opening this fight at maximum spell slots and maximum health.
Yeah.
Botter's going to use bonus action to cast Healing Word on Vortis. Which
that's very nice of him.
Yes, which does 1d4.
What about me, though?
He can't see you.
What are you talking about? It's just a giant crocodile and like the shambling.
The word is engulfed. You are entirely within this creature. And it has to be a creature you can see.
Nah.
So that is 2 plus his spell thing, which is so 9 points of health back to you, Vortis.
Hot.
And then for his action, is going to Vicious Mockery, baby.
An absolute classic.
Lace a bunch of
insult
bullshit.
A pile of vines.
Insulting a pile of vines, doing 2d4 points of psychic damage. That's 4. Which he takes in full. As you see DeRose just unleash in Bard in primordial released this series of jibes. The Shambling Mound reacts to it. It's very strange. It's just very strange. All right, Vortis.
Alrighty.
You want to come join the party, friend?
Yeah, dude, I'm coming.
Come get in
Oh,
gold.
I'm coming. I'm gonna
That's
saunter
where all
on
the
up
cool kids are.
here. Can I get flanking?
Yeah.
Yee?
Ooh, would I have gotten flanking? It didn't matter, I don't think, but I didn't even think of that.
That's a 21.
21
First
hits.
one.
Yeah.
I got it.
A natural 20 on the second.
You have all kinds of hit.
Okay, so the first one.
I gotta go by.
Okay.
Can I retcon that I cast a bonus action? No, actually, no. I'm gonna save my spell slots.
Okay.
Don't need a retcon. All right. So
Were
first
you at
one.
Hunter's
Yeah, it was, but I want my spell slots for other things. So my first one is. I can never remember what my plus is. Plus D8 plus 7. And a D4. That's 10. 17, 4 of which is necrotic.
Okay.
The second one, I'm going to use a smite at second level.
Of course you are. This is what makes Smite so broken, is when you crit, you can just lay out.
So I need
But you also have to use
1d8.
spell slot for it.
It's another 3d8 plus the D4. I'm just going to
Just watch.
I'm just
where
going to
you
roll this
swing.
online.
Just watch where you
Fucking
swing,
confusing.
bud. I'm in there somewhere. Okay, I don't want to catch a finger or a pinky toe or something.
Actually, well, roll damage first.
How is he looking? Is he basically just going to die?
He's looking, well, roll damage, but he's looking pretty hurt. He's not on death's door. But on a crit with the second level smite, we'll see. These can get different.
I don't
Depends
care
how well
what
you roll.
universe you're from. That's gotta hurt.
It's gonna hurt no matter what.
Yeah.
God damn it. Why can't I? I'm just going to roll in. Hang on. This, is it /R?
Good question.
Was that the dice spot?
Slash roll.
Okay, so
Oh,
he takes
D20.
48 damage.
Jesus.
And then plus 7.
So go
So
ahead and
50
just roll. Roll just a general intelligence check for me.
Please be smart.
Well, I'm dumb.
Please be smart.
I'm just going to obliterate this man. 55 total damage.
Jesus Christ.
It's a 7.
What?
Okay. The shambling mound, with just a burst of divine energy, is just rendered in twain. In the process, however, you do, Verdothos, you do take 10 points of slashing damage.
Shouldn't have said anything. Fuck.
God, I mean, I was going to do that anyway, but it just made it funny.
Sorry.
I could have made it worse, but I feel like 10 points is fine.
Yeah, take the full 54.
I took
55, please.
half the health just from the slam, and now another quarter from that.
Please
So
take the full
pretty
55, actually, though.
Well, if I was particularly cruel, I would have made you take the excess of whatever he didn't take, but I'm not that cruel. So,
what was the excess?
32.
Yikes. A little bit overkill there.
But with that,
I wanted to crit,
yeah,
and I used it.
But with that, you
How could you not? Yeah.
You all managed to successfully eliminate the threat.
I was like 48 on a crit. Yeah, let's do that, please.
By the way, not bad. Those were 2 CR5s that you just fought and didn't struggle.
It was nice of the shambling mound to wait until the first round of action to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice of him.
Well, you almost.
Also, I'm just
it could have gone differently.
bleeding out over here.
If you hadn't had a high passive perception, you would have stepped on the shambling mound, and that would have probably caused a whole other series of things.
To be fair, I'm fucking tapped. Your boy can't do anything else today.
I'm bleeding out over here, so not looking.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
But Marfin.
Can I cast Cure Wounds on myself?
Yes.
Yeah, we're out of combat.
Probably going to do that. Where the hell is Cure Wounds?
Go ahead and do all that. Okay.
I'm going to give myself 15 hit points because I can do things like that.
How do you do that?
Lay on hands, baby.
Lay on hands.
Oh.
I touch myself, and
For every paladin level, he gets 5 points of a pool that he can tap into as he
Doesn't even,
desires.
wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself at 2nd level.
Okay.
Unless anybody else wants to help out.
Nope.
Charlie, you want to spread the love a little
I'm
bit?
too spell poor for that.
Bar will cast Cure Wounds on you at 2nd level.
Well, hold on. Let me roll my. Not D20. Let me roll mine first.
Bar's
Well, I rolled an 8 on the first one.
Bar's doing okay.
4.
Spell
So
slots.
12 plus bunch of stuff.
Bar has a lot of spell slots and usually doesn't have to go through all of them in a fight. So
What do I add to this? My spell attack. Not my spell attack
it's
modifier.
just
My
your
wisdom.
and
Just my wisdom?
I think it's just your wisdom.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me check.
I think that's 17.
Yeah, your spellcasting modifier. Sorry.
Oh, my spell modifier.
No, your spell ability modifier. So that's wisdom.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's different. Yeah. So heal for 17. Where the hell's my HP? There it is.
I worked hard to find some nice swampy mobs for you guys to fight. So
Still not looking that great, actually.
Bar will cast on second level. That heals 16 points.
Yeah, that'll put him back to full.
There you
I will be very grateful to Bar. I'll say thank you. And I will say to Vortis, watch where you swing next time, bud.
Hey, I killed it, didn't I?
I know you were thirsty for that kill. But I was engulfed
I
inside.
feel like you were suffocating. I did you a favor, my friend.
Well, I guess not all favors come without some sacrifice.
By the way, Verdathos, you are disgusting. It's just
Yeah,
mud and rot and just
Wash yourself off.
general filth.
Filthy, get in the water. It would be cold, but probably worth it.
Yeah, I think I might just do that actually. Just hop in the
Frozen water
The freezing water.
that just had 6 inches of ice on top of it.
Maybe instead I'll just transform into an octopus and then transform back.
Jump
so
into
I won't have mud anymore.
Jump into that circle of water that I created.
Yeah, the frozen water. Yeah.
Oh, it froze. It
Well,
refroze.
It didn't refroze, but the water itself is very cold.
Very, very, very.
Or-
And it's also
Get
not
in there.
terribly clean water. I mean, it's murky brown.
Ordis, how cold would you say that water is?
Very cold. Quite cold even for me. I did not enjoy it too much.
No, it's not like I have to change clothes or anything. So, what if I just did like a in and out real quick kind of thing?
It's up to you.
I'm just waiting because I'll jump out and like make a con save. Oh, you're froze to death. Congrats.
I mean, if you're in and out very quickly, it's another thing. But
What if I just strip
Polar bear
naked and
challenge.
wash my clothes off?
you can do whatever you want, my dude. It's D&D.
And rip top off and at least wash that off.
Verdathos does some laundry. The rest of you recuperate a little bit after the fight. Anything else you're doing, or you keep on keeping on?
Well, what else is there to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on.
I guess I dropped my storm cloud as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if that lingers or if it's like the
Technically, it would
clouds are still
stay as
there.
long as you concentrate on it. But
Once I drop it,
yeah.
does it just like fizzle?
yeah, and it takes a couple seconds for the wind to kind of blow it out, but it moves. It just kind of it becomes a less dense cloud and then kind of disperses over the course of a couple minutes. So you all keep moving to the east. With a solid 2 days of moving behind you now, you're making a difference, but you're still quite a ways away from the mountain range, from any sign of civilization that you've found so far. The only humanoids you've come across are those Goliaths. You are
No sign of those boys, I'm assuming.
not that you've seen so far.
Yeah.
Get a sense that they're fairly good at moving without leaving a whole lot of trace behind them.
And nothing happens.
For the time being, no. Keep moving, keep moving. For the sake of this, about 3-4 days goes by. you're just walking through this very kind of drudgery
So
filled tour.
hashtag long rest.
Hashtag long rest.
Nice.
Sick.
So do what you got to do.
Can we fast travel?
I mean, not fast travel when there are enemies nearby.
Is there anything you want to do? Any conversations you want to have? Anything like that in those 3 days that pass?
God damn, this long. Whoa, speaking is difficult.
I'm so drunk.
This walk is very long, my friend. It's a good thing I have stayed warm with all this whiskey.
Whiskey?
What?
Whiskey. Where's
You
the
know what?
whiskey? Nobody told me.
Felderos
What
has
whiskey,
had a cask of Dwarven Rock Stout this whole time.
Hey,
I think he needs
Felderos,
that. He needs that more than all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
pass that stout over here.
Hands you out a small mug of it.
This should help with the cold.
You drink it, and it does. It warms your I say fingers, but claws essentially.
There it is.
Warms
That's
them.
it.
It's a very strong beverage. It's essentially like it's probably like a 25% ABV beer.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like a drink. And it doesn't taste very good, and it's meant for the very hardy dwarves. But you take it, it gives you the nice warm tinglies for a little while.
Hey, Kimbatul, do you mind passing that over here?
Whoa! This is no. There you go.
All right, I'll take a swig too.
Okay, both of you go ahead and make con saving throws.
I want to take a swig.
All of you, con saving throws all the way.
We're all getting drunk. Let's go. I rolled a 3.
10.
3 plus my con, I guess.
You
which
are-
is what,
Please, Nat one. Now's the time. Oh,
Now's the time.
6 total.
Charlie?
unnatural 20.
Vortis feels it. I mean, not all of you feel it to one extent or another, but you're chucking on. You know, you're just like, okay, that was alcohol, and you're still moving.
Your face is a little bit
Yeah,
warmer.
your face is a little warmer. You feel. I mean, you feel the effects of it, but you're in no way lost to it. Kimbatul, you're a bit tipsy. You know, you're like that. Verdathos, you all not a heavy drinker, that one.
No, not quite really.
And you all just see him start. As it hits him like a brick wall, and he starts
I
having.
can't imagine we have much beer of this caliber.
No,
in
not
the
really.
tribe.
You've come across a couple of pretty nasty kind of moonshines and sort of thing, but this is a drink made for dwarves who are notoriously heavy drinkers.
Yeah.
And you are not one of those. And so you drink it, and you oh my god! You start swaying a little bit as you're walking and kind of giggling to small, quiet comments as you go.
Hey, Verdathos, you should be careful. We don't want to end up having to carry you.
Careful. Carry me? Are you out of your mind? I'm bigger than all of you.
I don't think it's the point. I don't think any of us could carry you.
Yeah, maybe drag me, or perhaps I could turn into a tiny little insect.
Does drunkenness carry over if you got the bear stumbling around?
Perhaps I'll still be like a million times more drunk with my tiny insect body.
And Finn just goes, "I could probably carry him."
Oh, you a funny halfling. You would say so funny and tiny.
Watch yourself, big man.
And then I'll just look at myself.
This
like,
whole time, Mari is just limply kind of dragging behind you guys, just shaking her head, looking just as displeased with her.
SMH my head.
Looking as displeased with her lot in life right now as anyone has.
R.I.P. in peace.
Oh, the hunter's dream. Nice.
Sick.
These few days
soundtrack.
pass, and you do make it now onto more solid ground, off of the.
So I wasn't just drunk walking on solid ice, right?
Oh, you totally were. That
Oh.
the process of that happened like a day.
That was a poor decision, but
Yeah,
you know.
you were just like, whoa! all the time.
And I fashioned some sick ice skates.
Maybe some snowshoes.
Yeah.
There's no snow. It's just cold.
Yeah, it's just
Is
cold.
there no snow?
A couple
like
flurries here and there, but not as significant. No significant like pileups of anything.
How about any storms? Is it stormy on there?
Stormy weather? No, no storms. It's been mostly overcast while we've been up here.
Okay.
Think of like a gray November day. It's been essentially the weather the whole time.
Beautiful.
So you make it out of the marshlands, and you start getting onto not high ground, but comparatively higher. You get the feeling that most of those marshes were not much above sea level, and so even getting a 30 or 40 foot rise is pretty significant. And you look back and you can still see the coast. You can still see the marsh you came from. Looking north, you get a slightly better idea of the general terrain you're in. You see the one river that you'd been mostly paralleling, as well as two more that look about the same size, a bit north of it. As well as one pretty small one southwards. And the ocean where it looks like you landed and where you encountered Malkos's tower appears to be in a bit of an inlet or bay compared to the rest of the coastline, from which at least a couple of those rivers are running. Giving you and actually, let's have, I'll say Finn, Kimbatul, and Verdathas go ahead and make either history or nature checks.
I'm good at either of those.
Am I proficient in history?
I don't think Finn is proficient in either. Rolled okay.
Wait, one of those is wisdom and one is
No,
intelligence.
they're both intelligence, so just if you're having to be proficient.
You said history and what?
History
What
or
was the other
nature,
one?
depending.
Oh,
Okay.
no, okay.
15 for me. Doesn't matter which I made.
22.
22. Kimbatul, from your time looking just at maps and your general fascination with you kind of academically looking at things, a thought suddenly clicks in your head. These were the sibling rivers. And these were the sibling fens that you guys were just walking through.
Of course.
Of
How did I not
course.
see it before?
And you didn't realize it until you could actually see it laid out and the thought connected. If you look at your maps, these are the three. The sibling rivers are the once terse and trice rivers. They are the three rivers running out from the inlet due west of where the map says Caldkill Mountains.
I see, yeah.
And the sibling fens are the areas kind of surrounding the southernmost two rivers.
So basically, we didn't travel very far at all.
You were sailing
from Port Neuf on sea, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I thought we were like in the long reach.
It took you,
but I guess it's long. Yeah.
For the sake of scale, it took you 2 weeks on horseback to get from Chase Fields to Port Neuf. Shit's big.
Mm-hmm. So we're actually not like terribly far from Rockrest.
You're not terribly far from Rockrest at all. You're about, I would say at this point you're about equidistant between Port Neuf and Rockrest, a little bit north of both of them. But you're roughly splitting the difference there.
Okay.
Did I also come to this realization about the river?
What'd you say?
Did I also come to this realization about the river, or was I too dumb for that?
You didn't immediately, but once he said sibling rivers, you're like, oh yeah. Like, it sounded familiar as soon as you said it. It's not something you would have
Just wanted to make sure.
And so you all now have some idea. You don't, again, you're not 100% sure, like, you're to the minute where you are, but you at least now have a general sense of bearings that you did not previously have.
Cool.
Sick.
I'm wondering, should we adjust our course to go a little bit further south? According to all the information we currently have, the only way through these mountains is by Rockrest, and we would have to go south to get to Rockrest.
I suppose that makes sense. You're more familiar with the maps than I am. Came to the realization before I did. But I suppose it's a long distance for north or south from here to get around these mountains, so don't seem to have much of a choice.
I just think we'd have a better chance getting through the pass than we would just going over them. That's probably a death sentence.
Well, it's like either take the Gap of Rohan or go through the mines of Moria. It's like, damned you do, damned you don't.
Well, except Rockrest is a civilized city with no sense of impending doom that you're over.
Hey, that's what Gimli thought too.
It's fair.
You know, You never know.
Fair point.
The dwarves dug too greedily and too deep.
And Kimitul, your general knowledge, you also know that between Portneuf and Rockress, that's a pretty well-traveled road.
Mm-hmm.
There are a handful of
Does
small
it have a
villages along
name?
it. It does. Let me see if I can find it. I haven't had to think of that one in a while. Oh, it's the Passway. That makes sense.
Okay.
Gotta go through the pass.
A lot of my names make a lot of sense. Just didn't remember what that one was.
Well, shall we put it to a vote? Those who are in favor of kind of adjusting our course here to go towards Rockress and say aye.
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 And we'll say enough of the other people said aye to that you're going.
I mean, what was the other option?
Go either
to continue our course or go north.
Or go way north. Yeah.
Oh well, we were traveling east that whole time.
Yep.
So.
I think there was some conception within the group that you were a lot farther north than you were.
There was.
Absolutely, yeah. I thought we were. You said we were in the Long Reach, so I was like, "Oh, the Long Reach is the peninsula."
The Long Reach is pretty much everything north of Portneuf and Iveberg on either side of the Caldkill Mountains.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that we were like up towards the top of the mountains. That's like where I thought we were.
I thought we were gonna be able to go around.
Gertovi's ship would have had to be redonkulously fast for you to do everything that kind of time. And you also have to remember he didn't have a direction for most of the days, so he wasn't sailing quickly at all. So there's that. So you all adjust course and start heading now a little bit more southeast.
That is actually the way that the Goliaths were heading.
Indeed.
From what I recall.
Indeed.
Might want to keep a lookout.
Keep your ears open.
Keep your head on a swivel.
The terrain's changing a bit. Like I said, you're getting now not quite towards foothills, but more rising terrain, and you do have a pretty clear view of the mountains now. And these are a stark and imposing mountain range. They seem to erupt from the earth, just kind of their own accord, with just sheer precipices. The tops of them, some of them you can barely even see. They're snow-capped. They just look dangerous. It's like a saw blade of a mountain range sticking up out of the ground. They have a reputation for danger, and their looks seem to uphold that. You all keep making your way southeast. Verditas, once again, you were the first person to hear what appear to be voices.
Gosh, not again.
Hello.
Are we gonna go through the same song and dance of like, oh, is it this, blah blah blah? Like, what is it? What can I understand?
Like,
anything?
You're too far away?
Owl. This is the benefit of the owl. This is why it's amazing.
Oh.
Nobody questions a fucking owl.
Well, I guess maybe in the middle of the day they might question an owl being out and about.
I don't think all owls are nocturnal.
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know.
And you, as a denizen of the deep, would obviously be deeply familiar with owls.
Yeah. Denizen of the deep. Yeah, that's me.
No, sorry,
all right.
40s.
Well, I'll mention. Oh yeah. I'll say. I hear the voices again. I can't tell if they're the same voices.
Perhaps be your owl friend. Check it out again.
I was about to say the same thing. I'll turn into an owl. Say whatever the Sylvan word is for fly steady.
Yep.
Do you have to actually say it? Like
no, it's just a normal use of your B shape. It just doesn't actually consume the ability when you kind of channel it.
Kind of cool though. You just be like
you
blah blah blah, and then just like.
You can if you want. I can try to figure out what those words would be. I'm sure they exist somewhere. You resume your owl form and you fly over. These do appear to be Goliaths. And this now appears to be their campsite that you're coming across, or at least a campsite. Seems to be at least several dozen Goliath men, women, and children.
Several dozen?
Oh my goodness.
In sort of yurts, kind of small, flat top tents made of various hides and other materials. They have a couple fires going. It looks like they have some kind of basic level of kind of hide tannery and kind of basic production of various goods. But it does seem like they're also ready to pack up and go pretty much whenever. There's kind of one central yurt, which is bigger than the others, and probably 5 kind of circling it, with all these kind of various processes happening in and around.
Do I recognize any of them from my previous
Make
encounter?
a perception check with advantage.
Thank you, advantage. You've rolled a 1 and a 2. God damn, dude.
Not immediately. Your owl eyes.
There's a lot of them.
You
I'm
didn't
not
get a
expecting
great
so
look at any
many
of them in the first place, and there's a bunch of them. So your owl eyes are trying to kind of filter through it, but you're not immediately making any sense of it.
Can I see tattoos on them at
They
least?
do. Almost all of the Goliaths, except the very young tattoos, and some of the older women. Except for the youngest children. Some of the very oldest women. Almost all of the rest of them do appear to have. The tattoos, by the way, are kind of 3 stripes that run right around like this, and on those that have bare parts of their chest, they do seem to go down most of their torso.
And I still don't recognize the tattoos.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, make a history check.
Okay. It's a 2 right there.
Nah, you have no idea.
Fuck. So I just flew pretty much southeast, like towards what I presume to be around where Rock rests is in that direction.
I mean, very distantly, but you moved 500 feet southeast to where you all had previously been.
Were we traveling in that direction?
Yeah, you were traveling in that general direction.
Okay. Well, I'll come back then and let our party know. Things are not what they seem. The voices. The Goliath camp is up ahead, 500 feet to the southeast about, say, by the owl as the owl flies.
It might be in our best interest to avoid this camp and go around. I don't know if it would be worthwhile to try being friendly.
There were many of them, several dozen by my count.
Well, then definitely not worthwhile to try to fight them.
No way, indeed. Did I see a lot of them brandishing weaponry, or were they seem like more civilian?
I mean, a fair few of them had weapons. I mean, obviously not the young kids and the elderly. But none of them, they didn't seem like martial weapons. I mean, they seemed like the sort of things they would use for hunting or for kind of general defensive purposes rather than, war parties.
Yeah.
And none of them were armored in anything more than hides.
Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily believe that these Goliaths are out to trouble any strangers, but you never know how they might react to strangers encroaching on their territory. So I know on the other side of the mountains might not be met with a warm welcome. You might though. You never know.
Well,
perhaps not in the long reach. It's more of a gamble for sure.
I think there are definitely benefits if we try to, gain them as an ally, and they could certainly help us through this terrain. But at the same time, it's a gamble for sure. Probably safer to go around the camp.
Forties.
Well, first of all, I would like to say I was a huge fan of Hollow Knight music as well as Hollow Knight game.
That is a great soundtrack. I need to play that game again.
It's fantastic. It has DLC now. And they're coming out with second one. I have not played DLC and obviously have not played second one. Anyway. I do not think we need to approach these people straight on to the dwarves, I think.
So you'd like to go around the camp then?
Yes.
Straight
Alright.
on would bring you to where the camp is.
Well, it was a figure of speech, great DM in the sky.
Divine smite!
How dare you talk back
You
to
take
your
700
master.
points of everything damage. And your soul is forfeit. As the demon prince of undeath. Just...
I almost 100%ed Hollow Knight. I missed.
I love
one
that game.
That's not
shard.
That's another one that's on my list.
Brilliant game. It's like Dark Souls, but 2D, but
Yeah.
Also, I haven't played Dark Souls, so I'm just
it's amazing.
a waste of a human. But
You should play
I don't
Dark
think it's
Souls.
quite as hard as Dark Souls.
Dark
But
Souls
it's still
is
significantly
worth
difficult.
a play.
Dark
All of them
Souls
are
is
worth
an
a play.
experience. It's like incredible.
It is. It is. I love Souls.
anyway,
Especially if you go in blind. Just saying.
so you all, for the sake of this, let's go ahead and make stealth checks all around. I'll say Finn gives you pass without a trace.
Oh, I could have done that.
Well, okay, you go ahead and cast pass without a trace. You have more spell slots than he does.
I'm at the big disadvantage.
As are you, Veritathas?
I guess so.
24.
I think I still have my light armor
Oh,
that I
20
used to have, so I guess I
24.
could switch.
It would take you
not have that.
a considerable amount of time to do that, but it's up to you. Uh-oh.
I rolled a natural 20 and a natural 1.
Oh,
Oh.
there are numbers in between those, Charlie. You can roll any of those other numbers.
So that's a total of 12.
I mean,
Well, it's a nat 1.
it's a 15.
You had a total of 12 on stealth? Oh, with the...
Well,
That's great.
Trace.
All right.
So I got, I guess, 16
Okay.
for me.
Let's get rolls for Felderos. Decent. Like
Yeah, I took like
That might
quadruple
affect.
proficiency in
Finn.
stealth with a
Let's
heavy
go back
armor
to
paladin.
civilization.
Finn rolls a nat 1.
Wow.
I don't think he has advantage on stealth, but let me check because I could be wrong and I don't want to.
From what I remember, he does not.
I don't think so, but Gloomstalker gives him some other shit, so I'm just making sure.
I'm gonna buy some light armor that has decent AC.
See, that's the problem with light armor. Light armor with decent
doesn't have
AC
decent
doesn't
Yeah,
exist
he's invisible when he's in darkness, but he doesn't get
unless you have that huge dex bonus.
Yeah.
Because heavy armor caps out at +2.
Yep.
Right? You can have +6 dex and still just +2. Light armor, you get the whole +6, but your starting is like 12.
until you
13 was studded?
shit.
Or even 12, is 12 studded?
I think that's right. I think it's 12. I could be wrong. Okay, so you all start to make your way south and then kind of cutting back east once you feel like you're at a safe radius around the camp. As you're walking and kind of approaching the closest intercept point to it, which is still, you still give yourself a couple hundred feet. Fordyce in his, you're wearing scale mail, right?
Yep. I'm clanking.
Yeah, just
Not to mention all that change. he's
it's
got
like a
in his
maraca.
pocket.
It's like a metal maraca whenever you walk. Because a scale mail is essentially a lot of small pieces of plate just linked together. And Finn, who's usually excellent at being quiet in these circumstances, just turns around and says, "Will you hold your armor steady?" And then immediately, as he turns around, trips backwards over a root and lands with a loud crash. At which point you hear...
How loud could it be?
Rude. It was a 12.
There were 2 nat 1s in the group stealth check. I mean, you hear a rough voice call out, "Who goes there?"
Hello. I am Vordice Honorex.
Was,
I am
was it in common? Can you understand him?
It wasn't common.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I'm a traveling salesman. I sell knives. It is Cutco. They are very good. Yeah, my girlfriend's calling me. Someone else take over the RPing bit.
You see walking up to you 2 Goliath men. Both of them dressed fairly similarly in rough, kind of patchwork hides. Both of them carrying spears. They don't seem... Well, they don't seem to be immediately hostile, but they're definitely suspicious of you.
Do they respond to Vortis's
Right, same.
something?
We don't have much use for knives here.
Well, please excuse him. He likes to say these kind of things. We're just passing through. My name is Kimbatul. We
clarified that you are wearing your pointy wizard hat.
I
right?
am.
Yes, you're
I
wearing a
am.
pointy blue velvet wizard hat with lots of
I also
stars
have
and
a
crescent moons over it.
purple backpack on.
Bright purple backpack, and you are green. It's
Wow.
it's a look.
Just wanted to make sure.
I'll do it like a nice like you know, like I don't know what you
humble
call it.
bow.
A nice like a bow, yeah.
But then you're like, you feel your hat slipping, so you gotta like, oh.
They both sort of regard you for it. And what the fuck are people like you doing passing through here?
People are unnecessarily hostile. Maybe not unnecessarily. It's a bit of a strange party.
It's a bit of a long story. We were in captivity from a group. Maybe you've heard of them. A group that causes a lot of trouble in this area. The Copper Cutlass.
Can't say as I have.
Anyway, they had us in captivity. We managed to escape, and now we're just trying to sort of come to an area where we could perhaps be safe from them.
So you're not from around here?
I guess you could say that.
Alright, well, pass through the territory of this herd, you're gonna have to pay tribute to our chief.
Fucking bribe? Are you kidding me?
And what kind of tribute would you be looking for?
What do you have?
What are you buying? What are you selling? Perhaps we could discuss in further detail with the man that you speak of.
Ooh, our chief. And
Unless that would be a great blunder on
and
my
they both
part,
look
then
at each
I would-
other and just
then
start
I don't know.
deep belly laughing. Just our chief's
don't
no
have a
man.
I am no man.
You want to talk to the chief, or you can talk to the chief.
Is your chief? I'm not saying that.
Chief Keef. Nah.
I'm just imagining.
Yes, maybe we could talk to your chief and arrange some sort of a deal. As I said, we would really just like to pass through the area. We mean no harm in any way.
Even if you meant harm, I don't think you could do much.
There are a
Alright,
lot of you. I'm assuming.
that's right. That's right there. Alright, let's walk it back. The two of them kind of shoulder flank either edge of the party. And you all are brought now into the same village that Veritas noticed before. As you get closer, there were a handful of children running around, laughing and doing as children do. Both women and men doing various chores and tasks. Whether it's cleaning carcasses or butchering animals to eat, dealing with the hides of the leathers, making clothes out of it, doing repairs on the various tents. One of them you see carrying water. Everyone seems engaged in some form, and as you walk in, they all just turn silent and start looking at you. Just sort of apprehensive in general, not necessarily angry or sinister, but not exactly pleased that you're there either. Chief, we got a group here wants to make your acquaintance. And they bring you to that central yurt, which is probably about 25 feet-ish diameter, circular building. They open the tent flap and you walk inside, and you see just this gnarled old woman Um, you don't really know an idea of Goliath lifespans, but she is up there. She's. You're a little concerned how she's still alive because, like, her face is more wrinkles than skin. Her bones are just. Her hands are just claws, and they curl over this walking stick. And you also get the sense she would have been tall at one point in her life, but she's stooped now to the point where she's maybe 4 feet. And she just goes, "Yes, what is it you'd want from me today?"
How do you do? My name is Kimbatul. I'll do the same bow I did before. My friends and I were passing through these woods, and we heard from these fine gentlemen behind me here that we needed to offer a tribute, and we were unaware, and we just wanted to discuss with you what perhaps we could offer.
So let me get this right. Instead of just giving in my 2 idiots 20 gold pieces and moving on with your lives, you walked into
Whoa.
tent.
They only requested 20 gold pieces?
They didn't request
didn't
anything.
They didn't say anything.
That's their fault.
Moving on with your lives, you came into my tent, woke me up, and are asking me some questions.
Well,
At this point, I'll
we
throw
are very-
20 gold and I'll leave.
Yeah, and you are physically blocked from leaving the tent. You've already got me up. We're having the conversation now, at least.
Well, we're very sorry to disturb you.
I haven't had an entertaining morning in some time, so this should be interesting.
And then she like unhunches herself and just like punches us.
No, she's still very much hunched over, and she's sitting on essentially like a cut section of a log that she's using as a stool. So, you're here to bargain with me? Present your deal. Why should I allow you free passage through our lands?
I have a deal for you. 20 gold. A piece, of course.
For each member of my tribe,
How many of you are there?
53.
I was thinking more a piece for us.
It's over 1,000.
Perhaps narrow your offer a little bit better.
Excuse me for if I'm being rude, but is there anything we can do for you that isn't necessarily giving you gold pieces? Now we're speaking for myself, we're a little bit low on gold pieces right now, and but we do possess a lot of other skills that we could perhaps use. If there's anything we could do for you.
Hang on, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to things. But did they ask for monetary value in gold?
They didn't. That's
and
the
then
point.
the chief just like, oh, why don't you just give him 20 pieces? And then you're like,
No.
They never gave that
You said we're
offer.
running a little low on gold, and that's a straight up fucking lie.
No, he said speaking for himself. He's running low on gold.
Oh, okay.
He is running low on gold. True.
Just want to say, these guys were brutes living out in the woods. They wouldn't have required a lot of gold for them to leave you alone. But now you've made it a thing. So, she says, well, where is it that you're passing through to?
We were on our way to Rockress.
That city smells like shit. All
Most
dwarves do.
cities tend to.
This one really smells like shit. Nowhere for the air to go. Meh.
I guess they don't know about vents.
We tend to sell our furs to Portneuf. We have a buyer there. He's been giving us bad deals lately. You go there, you shake him up a little bit, let him know that this herd will not be intimidated. then maybe we can do some business.
She wants to. She's like a crime lord now. We're trying to shake down a merchant. Why don't we just get all these bad deals, man? You're just doing shady shit for everyone.
Portnof, you say?
That's right.
What would be the name of this merchant?
That'd be Rutik.
That doesn't sound familiar. Does it?
I don't think we know Ritik.
Is this a person we would be able to find easily, or how would we be able to find them?
I'm not much for city folk, but I imagine if you went and asked for someone named Rutik who sold hides, you might be able to find him.
Oh, yeah.
Fair
we
enough.
did trade hides with them, yeah. But that's kind of in the opposite direction that we were headed.
How very inconvenient for you.
You don't sell any furs in Rockrest, then?
No, that city smells like shit. Don't much like going there.
Portnof at least has that sea breeze, I agree.
Well, what say you if we would perhaps sell furs in Rockrest for you, if you don't like going there?
So you want us to give a bunch of complete strangers who wandered onto our land our entire source of making a living? Does that sound like a good deal, Dragon Man?
I'd prefer if you called me Kimbatul.
I'd prefer if you didn't walk onto my land in the middle of my afternoon nap. But here we
Smelling
are.
like shit! I'm probably smelling like shit after...
Yeah, all of you don't really smell good at this point.
No.
Felderos, to catch you up, you all wandered through the land of the Goliaths that you mentioned earlier. You're now in their main village, talking to their chieftain, who's an extremely elderly Goliath woman who seems to have quite a bit of spit and vinegar to her.
I'll give you 75 gold.
Make a persuasion check.
That is a pretty big number. Lot of gold for not wanting... Oh, fuck me. Oh, actually, my charisma is decent, because I'm a charisma caster. Oh, and that's 17.
17. She looks at you.
I'll double it.
Well, shut your mouth.
Did you say that?
No. I was gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. But I could throw some change in this.
150 gold.
That is literally double what I said.
You're right. How many spears you have pointed at this tent right now?
Literally none. I don't want to fight you. I just want to carry on our way.
We also don't have any spears and peer users.
All right.
Technically, I have a trident. That's kind of like a spear.
You're right. That is very close.
100 gold if you can get a hide merchant in Rockrest to come buy from us, so we don't have to go to that shit-smelling place.
I mean, set up front, 50 now,
No,
50
you pay
when he comes back.
What accent am I doing? No, you'd pay us 100 with the expectation that you do this, and if you don't, we're going to know about it.
What if I just give you 150 so I don't have to... What if we try and fail, but we do our best? What does that mean? What if I just give you 150 gold so that we do not have to do this thing?
I wouldn't... I wouldn't say no to 150 gold, now would I?
You know, that sounds a lot better, yeah.
Okay, so there is this hide merchant in Rockrest. You go to him. So you already sell to this man? But
No,
you have to travel
we
there.
don't go to Rockrest because it smells like shit.
Yes, I know, okay, but... So you don't sell to him, but you want to sell to him, so you want him to come here.
I just want to not have to go to it. Fucking
Okay,
city.
I understand. Okay, what if you give me all your hide?
We already went over this. Can we just pay the premium to not have to do a shitty task?
My patience is wearing quite thin with this argument.
Okay.
I call it more of a negotiation.
Let me consult with my friends. We'll huddle up.
And she folds her fingers over the staff she's holding.
Okay, gold count. How much do we all have?
34.
Holy shit, you are poor as hell. Here is 50 gold pieces. What happened to all your gold?
Wait. Put that gold away. You don't want to know how much we have on us.
You only have 54 gold pieces?
34.
34.
Wow. Where did it all
Being
go?
a wizard is expensive.
I bought a bunch of shit.
Oh, okay. Fine. Whatever, man. Anybody else?
I could potentially throw.
Wait, did you actually give me 50 or no?
No, I'll give you something. I have 619 gold pieces.
Don't worry about it. We've figured out another time.
I know I'm very wealthy. Okay, can anybody else chip in? I'll do like. Hey,
why are you asking for handouts? Why don't you just do it?
I don't know if anybody else is as rich as I am.
I think you do, though.
I think you do have some understanding.
I don't know, how much money do you have? Like 300? Are we talking less than 100? More than 300?
I have 478 gold.
Okay. See, so, okay.
But the reason is because 50? I don't buy anything.
You do 50, I'll do 100. 150, we call it a deal, we leave. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I want to pay the premium.
I'll sneakily pull out 100 gold pieces so that they don't notice that I have like 600 gold pieces. I'm assuming these are probably in separate pouches at this point, so it doesn't.
You've got like a couple different pouches.
I forgot.
Also, some of the sack.
And there's a bunch in the haversack as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put out to like 100 gold pieces. You contributing 50. Okay, 150 gold pieces. And I'll tell you what, just because you guys are so nice, I'll put in a word with the first merchant and maybe, fingers crossed, we'll work something out.
She sits there, and she takes a decent amount of time as she counts very laboriously. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you get the idea.
Maybe like 1 pelt to show off how quality your items are.
They know how quality your items are.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that should be easy peasy then.
All right. Enjoy your journey to your shit-smelling city. Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy trapping and hunting and doing whatever it is. I'm assuming that's most of what you do, but I don't know. Okay, bye.
And these hides that you speak of, could I perhaps browse?
She looks around the room at the hide-covered tent that you're in, at every individual in this room besides you guys who's wearing hides.
I'm not wearing hide, I'm wearing scale.
No, everyone besides you guys who is wearing hides.
Oh, yeah.
All the Goliaths are wearing hides. All of the fabric in the area are hides. She's wearing hides.
I get it, man.
What questions do you have about our hides exactly?
I didn't have any questions. I just wanted to look at them.
See if I could. What do you have for purchase?
No, I want to know, stats.
Of a hide?
On a hide?
Yes, of a hide. Like armor class.
They don't sell finished hides.
Yeah, this is like
they just sell
hides.
Useless.
Fucking useless.
Sorry that the random tribe of people you happen across aren't making good enough armor for your liking. And it would be, for the record, hide armor, which is, I think, the worst of the light armors.
Quality.
I didn't say quality. If you want good leather armor, go to Chased Fields. You could have gotten really good stuff while you were there.
I have very high quality armor. It's scale mail. That shit's the second best heavy armor you can get.
Yeah. But you're
the first best is like 1,400 gold a set. So
yeah, but I think it's 1,500 for plate.
It's a fuck ton.
Yeah,
is what it is.
But for the time being, the Goliaths that let you into the tent let you back out and kind of walk you off the immediate campus.
Get off my property.
And you say, "All right, well,
pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah, right.
Be seeing you then. Yep. Cheers.
Love you too."
And as you have went away from that bizarre series of events, you start heading southeast back towards the road, the passway that connects Rockrest, and Portneuf. And for now, since it's 10, we will call the session there.
Hey, good session, everybody.
Yeah. A lot of traveling.
I'll have to remember where that place is and come back and burn it to the ground.
Fireball!
Fucking crap.
You guys are
Yeah, I don't normally take too kindly to extorters, but you know, when I'm level 15, I'm coming back.
I'll come
Hello,
back
everyone.
and cast Fireball
Clack.
7th level.
And then it turns out these were actually all just a bunch of kobolds in trench coats. And they're, you know, magic.
The ultimate plot twist.
You're like, hello, I'm level
Firelink.
It's just like...
Yeah, you guys are almost back to a road now. Isn't that exciting?
If
Roads.
only...
Why didn't we just go to the main road in the first place?
I mean, you were
that's kind of what we were trying to do.
you were
I
kind of
rolled
doing
a natural
a
one for
slight
stealth.
oblique angle.
Two
to
of
it,
us
but-
rolled natural ones for
Yeah,
stealth.
if you'd rolled a decent stealth, it wouldn't have been an issue. But and even if one of you had rolled a nat one, I might have let it go. But that's a lot of nat ones.
I've rolled a fuck ton of nat ones recently.
Yeah.
At least I rolled... My first roll of the night was 3d20s for Finn's 3 attacks, and I rolled a 1, a 1, and a 2. Fucking amazing.
That's just awful. But yeah, so hopefully next week Riley's house isn't flooding, and Grandin should be back. Anyway, so
Dorm house.
Or is Grandin out still?
he's either out or got back recently, because he was working.
He's not online.
And then he was working, and he gets. I'm stopping the recording.